Welcome to the podcast if you're joining us for the first time, or welcome back if you've listened before. It seems like the only constant is change in the AEC industry, especially when it comes to digital innovation and technology, and this podcast is no different. And we've historically focused on digital innovation and technology. Going forward, we'll also look at other types of innovation that are moving our industry forward and creating value for our clients. So welcome to the Innovative Insights podcast. In this space, we'll speak to planners, scientists, designers, engineers, and architects who are helping clients solve the problems of today and tomorrow by taking new approaches, forming innovative partnerships, and combining subject matter expertise with cutting-edge technology. My name is Mike Arsenault, and I'll be your host for today. My regular co-host, Dave Roberts, is going to be on the other side of the microphone, joining the podcast as our featured guest. Dave is based in the United Kingdom and earlier this year was named Stantec's Chief Digital Officer. In this episode, we're going to discuss Dave's new role, the experience and expertise he brings to the position, and how Stantec's approach to digital transformation and AI will impact how we deliver value to clients. Welcome to the podcast, Dave.
Thanks, Mike. Great to be here. I'm really excited to join this conversation today. And I think you're absolutely right in what you've just been saying. The pace of change in the AEC industry has been incredible. And, digital innovation is really at the heart of what we're looking at from when it comes to transformation. So for me, taking on this new role as the Chief Digital Officer, it's a fantastic opportunity to really help shape how we leverage technology, whether that's AI or data-driven design or automation. Really, it's all about how we can deliver more value to our clients. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this today and talking a little bit more about how we're approaching digital transformation at Stantec.
Well, we have a lot to cover, Dave, and let's start with that new role. Why do you think you're uniquely qualified to be Stantec's Chief Digital Officer?
That's a great question, Mike. Well, I think I'm probably uniquely qualified for a combination of reasons, really, around experience and perspective. And, I've spent my career really at that intersection of technology and business, leading both IT and digital transformation initiatives and really helping to implement data-driven strategies and helping organizations unlock the value of emerging technologies. But what's really important is that the role isn't just about the tech, understanding how to apply it in a way that solves real problems for clients and creates measurable impact. Now, that is where things get really interesting. So, as I said, I've worked across various different sectors and geographies. So hopefully I bring a global view of how digital can help transform Stantec and how the overall AEC industry at that. And finally, I guess I'm really passionate about building teams and fostering a culture of innovation. So technology, as you know, moves so quickly, but people and processes are what makes that transformation really stick and makes it really a reality. So that's where I believe I can make the biggest difference here at Stantec.
Chief Digital Officer can be an all-encompassing term. Dave, what exactly does your role entail?
Well, I think the Chief Digital Officer role is really about setting that vision and strategy for how Stantec wants to use digital to create value, be that for our clients or our teams or our communities that we serve. And that really means leading initiatives around data and AI and automation and emerging technologies, as I've mentioned, but making sure that they're integrated in how we deliver projects every day. So it's also about building the right culture and capabilities. And Mike, as you know, digital transformation isn't just about tools, it's about people. So a big part of my role is helping our teams develop the skills and the confidence to embrace new ways of working. And ultimately, my job is to make sure that digital isn't just an add-on. It's really embedded into everything that we do so we can deliver smarter, faster, and more sustainable solutions for our clients.
So you kind of mentioned in that answer what digital transformation means to Stantec, because those words are really everywhere. So I'm curious, from that client perspective, what exactly does digital transformation mean for our clients? What can they expect from us from that digital lens?
Well, you're absolutely right, Mike. Yeah, digital transformation gets used a lot, but for us at Stantec, it's very focused. It's about rethinking how we deliver value by embedding digital into every part of our business and every client interaction. So for clients, that means solutions, as I said before, are smarter, are faster, and more sustainable. So whether we're using AI to do that, or we're looking at how we leverage data analytics to make better decisions, or creating digital twins to manage assets more efficiently, It's the technology that can actually make this a reality. So it's not just about adopting new tools, it's about transforming processes and mindsets, more importantly, so that technology becomes a natural part of how we solve problems. So ultimately, digital transformation for Stantec is about helping clients navigate complexities and achieve the outcomes that perhaps they couldn't do without us.
Can you give me like a concrete example of one of those outcomes of a digital transformation success that we've initiated in helping some of our clients and the communities that we serve?
There's probably a couple of examples that spring to mind. The first is probably how we're using digital twins on major infrastructure projects. So these are basically virtual models that allow clients to visualize and manage assets in real time, improving decision making and reducing lifecycle costs. So, for example, we've been using these digital twins on large water utility projects. The digital twin can actually help optimize operations and provide predictive maintenance, so both helping save time and money. Perhaps another example we could draw upon is where we've been using AI design-driven automation into some of our projects. So by using generative design tools, we can explore thousands of different design options in a fraction of the time it would take manually. So this not only accelerates delivery, but also helps us find solutions that are more sustainable and cost effective. So both those examples really show how digital isn't just about efficiency, it's about unlocking new possibilities for our clients and communities.
How has Stantec tweaked our strategy in terms of how we approach digital transformation?
Yeah, certainly there has been a lot of change in 2025. So as we head into 2026 now, our digital transformation strategy is evolved from adoption to integration and acceleration. So in the past, the focus was on around introducing new tools and technologies, and now it's about embedding those. So again, embedding them deeply into how we deliver projects and then creating measurable value and outcomes for our clients. So there's probably three big shifts around that. So the first is AI at scale. So we're moving beyond some of the pilots and the proof of concepts that we've been doing to actually delivering enterprise-wide AI applications now. Another big shift has been around our data-driven ecosystem. So instead of having siloed solutions, we're building connected platforms that integrate our data to make it more efficient for decision making. And then probably the third example I draw upon is that human-centered transformation. So technology really works if people embrace it. So we're focusing on how training and awareness and creating a culture where innovation is part of everyday work is really helping to really drive that digital transformation across the organization. So I think for 2026, it's about speed, it's about scale, it's about sustainability, but it's also about making sure that digital transformations are part of Stantec's core DNA, helping deliver smarter and more resilient solutions for communities.
Well, Dave, you mentioned AI briefly in that previous answer. So how has our approach to artificial intelligence changed over the past 12 months?
Well, yeah, I mentioned AI at scale. So our deployment of Microsoft Copilot is really helping to drive that. So we've moved beyond having small pilots and now really embedding Copilot into the workflows across the company. So Copilot's really helping our teams automate repetitive tasks like generating design documentation or summarizing complex reports, and even assisting in early stage concept development. It's also been used around accelerating proposal writing and data analysis, freeing up time for our experts to focus on creativity and problem solving, which is really important to us. But the real power comes when AI has been integrated into our design and delivery platform. So this is giving our engineers and our architects instant access to insights, best practices, and predictive analytics. So it's not just about the efficiency, it's about enabling smarter decisions and delivering better outcomes, really. So if we look at AI at scale, it's all about that enterprise-wide adoption in terms of how we bring it into our everyday world. But I think if we look at where we're going, we've certainly moved from an experimental phase to maybe an enterprise integration phase now. So this last year, we've been running pilots and testing use cases, and now we're starting to deploy those across the business. So that's a big change that we've seen from having those tools which have been sort of isolated to actually embedding these solutions into our ecosystem of tools. But we're also really focused on responsible AI. So building governance frameworks to ensure that we've got transparency, security, and ethical use. And importantly, we're also investing in upskilling our people. So because AI only delivers values when our teams know how to use it effectively, we're really shifting to making sure that we are providing clear training and education in terms of how we embed this into our everyday work.
Now, you mentioned a couple of successes that we've already experienced with AI deployment across Stantec. Can you think of an example of where maybe AI you thought it was going to work or maybe work more effectively and we've had to pivot away or shift our approach somewhat?
Well, we've definitely had to pivot. We started our digital transformation, and the focus was perhaps around the tool element of that. And over the past year, we realized that's not enough, and that we need to integrate our solutions and not just have isolated pilot work happening. So we've shifted from a technology first to an outcomes first perspective, and that really means looking at how we improve project delivery, how we improve sustainability and client decision making. So, for example, it's not just about testing the AI tools; it's about embedding them into how we work across the business, into those everyday tasks that I talked about. And we've also pivoted around our governance piece as well, ensuring that we've got transparency and security as we continue to scale. And really, it's about making sure that we can move from that experimentation phase really into enterprise integration period now, where we're really gaining the value of these AI tools from across the enterprise, across the business, from everything that we're doing.
I'm curious to know, how do you know when it's time to pivot? What are some of the things you're looking for to make those decisions?
Well, I think it's really where, as I've touched on before in the conversation, it's where we can gain the greatest value and provide measurable value to the business in terms of what the AI tools are actually providing us. So what value we're gaining from having these embedded across the organization. And when it comes to things like predictive analytics, AI won't just tell us what's happened. It's going to be able to forecast what's likely to happen and also provide recommended actions for us. So as we look at these tools and we look at how we want to use them, they're advancing all the time. They're being optimized all the time. We want to make sure that we're taking advantage of these as the technology changes at a rapid pace, looking at how we can get competitive advantage and build that into our business as well. So AI is really looking at how we can enhance our approach across everything that we do. So it's becoming a key component in terms of our daily lives and our interactions.
And what excites you most in terms of digital innovation at Stantec?
I suppose it's about how digital innovation is moving from being a support element to becoming a core business driver of value for the business. So it's not just about digitizing our process, it's about reimagining how projects are conceived, how they're designed, and how they're delivered. The one project that really sort of stands out for me is some of the digital twin work that we've been doing. So by creating that living data-driven models for entire systems that we've seen, we've really helped clients to optimize their operations and deliver predictive maintenance schedules and reduce their life cycle costs overall. So these are the things that really excite me in terms of how we can deliver real value using technology and using digital innovation at scale.
Dave, I'm curious, is there a particular global client that has utilized digital twins to achieve that outcome for success that you've mentioned?
One example that springs to mind is in Taiwan, and they're leading an impressive transformation in the water resource management sector through digital twin technology and AI. And there's a recent example with the Taipei Water Department's initiative, which was launched just in September 2025. And that project focused on creating digital twins of water treatment plants, enabling real-time visualization, predictive analytics, and intelligent automation. And by integrating AI models, the digital twins can predict water quality, optimize dosing, and monitor equipment health, while IoT and BIM technologies further enhance factory management, and interactive dashboards empower the operators to make proactive data-driven decisions, which is especially critical during critical events like heavy rainfall. So the result has been a forward-thinking approach that combines robust data governance, real-time monitoring, and scenario simulation to improve efficiency, sustainability, and resilience in water management. And Taiwan's success really demonstrates how digital twins and AI can really revolutionize the essential infrastructure that we're using globally.
Dave, I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm excited to see where we're headed this year, and I hope you enjoyed being on the other side of the microphone today.
Thanks so much for having me on the podcast today, Mike. It's been great having the conversation, and I really appreciate the chance that we've had to talk about where we're heading with our digital transformation at Stantec. And the pace of change with our industry is incredible, and it's such an exciting time to be involved with technology at the moment. So, yeah, Mike, thanks again. It's been a real pleasure.
Well, that's all for today's episode. Thank you very much for listening. Future episodes will continue to explore how innovation is shaping the AEC industry. In the meantime, you can visit our website, stantec.com, for more information.